Hey guys, back with another video. Um, this camera's kind of close. Okay, so Pelicans just extended the qualifying offers to Zoe and Hart. Um, Hart's is around 5 million. Zoe's is like 14 million. What does this mean? Okay, by doing this, either one of them, well, both of them are restricted free agents officially. If he had not done this, they would have been unrestricted free agents and they would have just walked away. Now, this gives them the opportunity to sign and trade or match. But something else to keep in mind, qualifying offer also means if they choose to sign it, they become a free agent unrestricted next year. So either one of them could say, you know what, we'll come back for 1 year and then we control our own destiny. That could be an option for either one of them. But here's the other part to this too. The QOs can be in place until August 13th. That gives them, if you factor in tomorrow and don't count today, that gives them effectively 13 days to do something. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, which I encourage you all to do, Black J Strokes, um, you would have seen that I've already predicted this was going to happen. Because ultimately, the Pels don't want to lose Lonzo for anything. So, this gives them the leverage in the sense that, oh, excuse me, any teams that don't want to overpay for Lonzo and want to get a deal done have to talk directly to the Pelicans, which then leads to the Pelicans talking to Rich Paul and negotiating as well. Now, the bad part of this for the Pelicans is if a team says, we don't want to fucking deal with you, here, Lonzo, here's 23, match it or not. The Pelicans have to figure out if they're going to pay it or not. And if so, they're going to end up losing him anyway for nothing. So basically, what do I think about this? I believe that the Pelicans feel like there's not a team out there that wants to pay Lonzo in a price range more than they even want to pay him. And what I mean by that is, I think the Pelicans want to get him for 17 to 20 million as a bargain, but I believe they think no team really is probably going above 22. And if a team wants to go above 22, that's a vast overpay. They're not going to deal with it, so they just rinse their hands with it, take their loss. They're willing to take a loss if a team is just going to outbid them. Okay. Here's the other part. Well, that's number one. Okay. So Pelicans did this so that they could get something back for Lonzo. This is obvious. More than likely, this is a situation where, okay, guys, look, we know you guys want Lonzo. We don't just want to let him walk for free, so we're going to, wink, wink, set up a deal illegally, because you ain't supposed to be doing that shit right now. We're going to set up a deal with you guys. We'll give him to you, but you have to give us certain things in return, or something in return, and we'll make it work. Now, what does that mean for Kyle Lowry? Well, a report just came out that said Miami is the favorite to land Kyle Lowry. I don't know how much money they have. I quite frankly don't care. Um, but if that's the case, if you follow me on Twitter, I gave a tier list or an order of operations. I said CP3 and Kyle Lowry were the first thing that they were going to shoot for. If not, they're going to go for the next level, which is like Spencer Dinwiddie. Um, I threw out the name Dennis Schroeder, but I don't necessarily know if he's on their radar. But what I'm saying is that level of player. And then it would be Kira Alonso. And it depends on how you think the Pels feel. Um, if you think they value Kira and he's worthy of starting, Kira would be the next thing. If you think they value Lonzo more, then they would issue an offer that would be commensurate to what he wants and just say, hey, we're just going to keep you and deal with you or deal you whenever we feel like it, wherever we want. Because at that point, then you don't have any leverage. So, I personally think because Chicago has been, I'm not going to say Chicago, but it's been put out like the last couple of days has been Chicago Lonzo, Chicago Lonzo, Chicago Lonzo. They both have mutual interests, both have mutual interests, 20 million, 20 million, 20 million. I personally think there's going to be a sign and trade offer on the table. The question I have is where does Josh Hart fit in this? Are they going to potentially swap out Josh Hart with Lonzo? A thought that literally just occurred to me was because one of the things I've been thinking about all day today is because I'm personally I don't want Lonzo to play with Vooch. Hear me out. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I don't want him to play with a center who isn't going to defend. Okay, I would much rather they spend that money to go get Miles Turner. But hear me out. Something I literally just thought about while doing this. What if Chicago offered Vooch for, say, Lonzo Hart and Valanciunas? I might take that deal. And that's not a bad deal. That's not bad for the team in general. But, anywho, even outside of that, Lonzo and Josh Hart. I don't know how much Josh Hart is going to command. I know he wasn't making that much because of where he was drafted, only a couple million a year. But I would imagine he's looking at 9 to 11 million a year. If you want to say, because I think the hold for Lonzo and Josh was 36 million, so somewhere in around about that amount, that's about 30, 31 million ish. What could you do? Okay, there's a couple players of note that I think they would be interested in. Kobe White, you're going to need another point guard or somebody that can handle those responsibilities. Well, that'll be more than likely probably one of the choices they make. Bulls have been linked to Derrick Rose. You might say, okay, we'll get Derrick Rose. You guys take Kobe. Works out. Larry Markkinen. Now, that's another interesting caveat because he could go to Dallas Spurs, and they went ahead and did him on a qualifying offer too. So it could be they might swap Laurie with Lonzo. May work. I don't know. It depends on really what you think they want. Thaddeus Young, they could take him. A couple other pieces, Thomas Sadaratsky, and a few others I'm not going to get into. But, Thice, I don't think they would want to do that. But with the whole thing with Jackson Hayes beating up cops recently, they may opt to just rinse their hands with him and be like, okay, we need to get another center because Jackson Hayes got problems. So, I don't necessarily know what, they would want. I would assume Kobe White at worst, maybe Thomas Sadaransky. Because personally, I don't think they want Kira to start just now. For all intents and purposes of, oh, we like Kira, he's not ready. He wasn't nowhere near it. He should have been red shirt last year, but they had no choice. The other thing too is, what if they can't come up with a deal with Chicago? Would they say, okay, look, we tried the Chicago thing, we can't do it with them. Chicago may just say, screw this, renounce everybody, 23 on Zoe, match or go home, which could put the Pels in a messed up position. I've always been of the thought that if they really wanted Kyle Lowry, put pressure on them to make a decision on Zoe early. That's my belief. But let's just say Pelicans are like, look, we can't get a deal done with Chicago. We know you want to go to Chicago. What about Boston? Maybe they sit there and say, okay, we'll set up a deal with Boston. Obviously, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are off the table. But maybe they want Marcus Smart instead. Maybe they want one of them guys on the bench or something. Naismith or something. I don't know. Maybe they set that up. Other teams that have been linked to him recently, Toronto, that could be a way to get Kyle Lowry. I don't think Lonzo would agree to that personally. Um, it's possibly Miami. I don't think the Clippers have enough. Um, I mean, there's other teams, but you see them saying there's going to be a well, the Knicks could offer outright, but the Knicks may be willing to say, okay, look, we got Kevin Knox who we're not going to play, and we got Obi Toppin who we drafted and we're not going to play much. Maybe they make a deal, and that's the trade off is they get Lonzo in exchange for those guys. Um, who knows? I don't. Maybe even though the league expects CP3 to sign with Phoenix, maybe CP3 wants to go elsewhere. If he wants to go elsewhere, maybe Phoenix becomes one of those teams where it's like, look, man, we'll make you a deal. Maybe CP3 wouldn't mind playing in New Orleans again. I highly doubt that. But he won't go to the Lakers now because they just got Russ. Unless he's just going to take he's going to take a huge pay cut and just because he's letting go his 40 million for this year to get a longer deal. So he's trading in 40 for like what he wants to do is double that money over time and get 30, 30, 30 and get 90. So maybe the Pelicans would be like, hey, we'll pay you that amount. We might pay you a little bit more to come over here. And then you can do the same thing you did with Phoenix with us again. I don't know. Either way, I think this is interesting because I really don't have any idea truly what is going to happen because teams can talk. For all we know, there may already be deals in places, but like I said, I don't I don't want to trust the media. I don't want to trust everything in the media. The Bulls, I think, is fair, but we don't know. 4 for 80. We don't know who put that information out. We don't know what they would have to gain to put that information out. You know what I'm saying? So that's. I mean, what if that? Think about it like this: what if the Pelicans put out, "Hey, there's mutual interest between Lonzo, 4 for 80 million." Maybe the Bulls say, "Who said that? Did that come from our organization? Did someone say leak that information?" Or if the Bulls leak it out, then the Pelicans is like, okay, you know, somebody would be ringing the alarm. We don't know for what. Maybe it's both of them because we've been seeing stories every day, and they're like, "Hey, 4 for 80, 4 for 80, 4 for 80, 4 for 80, four. That work for you? Okay." And then the first day we'll get the trade done. I think that's probably something to keep an eye on. If Zoe is actually going to listen to offers from all the teams, or if he's just like, "No, I'm going to Chicago." Um, Here's the other piece of this too. Signing trades have to be agreed upon by the player. So it doesn't matter what the Pelicans want to do if Lonzo doesn't agree. So I've seen people saying, okay, we'll send Lonzo to Toronto. If Lonzo doesn't want to go to Toronto, he's not signing. He's not agreeing to a signing trade. Okay, he'll just say, "Fuck it, I refuse." Okay, what's another team? Houston. Let's say Houston comes in and say, "Hey, we'd like to, make a play for Lonzo." Now, I would like for him to go to Houston because I live in Arlington, Texas. It would be easy for me to go and watch one of his games. Although Dallas is literally up the street, I can go watch him play when he comes to play the Mavs. It's not going to be often. But if he were to go to, say, a team like Houston, or if they wanted to make an offer, he could say, "Nope." And that would be that. So that's pretty much where they're at. Now, what I really think is going to happen. Pelicans trade Lonzo and Josh Hart for some combination of Kobe White, Larry Markkinen, and that's it. That's all I can really think of. Um, Here's my thing. I would think if you Yeah. Did I say that right? Yeah. Okay. Thaddeus Young. If I didn't, I'm sorry. My mind is all over the place. Here's the reason. No, I didn't say Thaddeus Young because I said Laurie Markin and Kobe White. Okay. Yeah. So Thaddeus Young. Here's the reason. Um, Laurie's contract max or match. Now, here's the other part. There could be a 3-14 trade. So don't forget that part. But Laurie's contract is closest to Zoe. But I think they would want another point guard there, so they probably take Kobe White. He probably has to be a part of any deal. Um, I think with both of their contracts, if you did that, try to sign a trade also with Laurie. I'm not sure if that's legal, but if you do a sign and trade with Laurie and Kobe White, I think you would need to put more money in on Zoe's side. So they would have to put up Josh Hart, and in which case you're gonna want Josh Hart anyway if you're gonna match that or try to with Thaddeus Young. So it'd be like, okay, we're losing Thaddeus Young as a wing, let's get Josh Hart. And so Chicago would have some kind of lineup where it would be Zoe, Zach, um, Patrick Williams, Vooch, and then whoever the fuck they got in free agency at power forward. Um, and that's what they would go forward with. And the Pelicans would have something like Zion, now Bi, Laurie, and Valanciunas. Um, I don't think the Bulls are going to trade Vooch, but if I were the Bulls, I would trade him. Pacers, yeah, can we get Miles Turner for you? We'll give you Vooch. Uh, yeah, but we don't have the salary thing. Don't worry about it. Hawks, yeah, we got a deal we're working on with the Pacers. We're giving them Vooch, and they don't have the salaries. Is there anything you want from either of our teams? We want Cam Reddish. Well, you guys just traded for Zoe, so y'all don't have Thad and Kobe White or Laurie. Be right back. Hey, Pelicans. Yep, we're trying to make a deal with the Pacers and Atlanta. Do us a solid. We will swap out better players that you need. We'll try to get you Kevin Herter. In exchange, we send Laurie to the Pacers. They're going to send Cam Reddish to us. You guys still get Kobe White. And that would be the way you facilitate that. That actually might help all the teams, honestly. But that's what I would do. Why? Because I don't like Vooch on defense. Zach don't play defense. I'm sorry. I it'll work. Don't get me wrong. Keeping Vooch with Zach and them will work. It's not a complete bad thing. It's a good thing overall. But it's just me in the way I want to play. I'll take Miles Turner 3-point shooting, even though it's not as good as Vooch's, but his defense is so much better. I'll take that and live with the results. That's just me. And if I had a choice to get Cam Reddish and walk out there, if you told me on the opening night of Chicago Bulls, I got Lonzo, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Cam Reddish, who's 6'8", and Miles Turner, I say we will be in the 8th seed or the 7th seed in the East every time. And I personally think, even though they have now, if you told the Pelicans they were going to start Zion, Kevin Herter, or Zion, no, Kevin Herter, Bi, and Valanciunas, they might take that. Or they could put Kobe White there. I don't know. But I think that would work. Now, Pacers just got Rick Carlisle, my old coach for the Mavs. White guys that can shoot. I'm just saying. Dirk, KP, Luca. Vooch just seems to be right up that alley, man. Okay? Y'all go ahead and laugh at me and talk shit about me in the comment section. I don't give a fuck. He like white guys that can shoot. Here's your white guy that can shoot. You're big. But you know, that's the way I see it. And, you know, you can put Laurie out there with Trae Young, take pressure off of him. You still got Clint Capella. Laurie can space the floor. You still got DeAndre Hunter. Um, and you can, even if you don't want Cam and Herter, you still got Bogdanovich. You still got plenty of floor spacing, plenty of shooting. And maybe you could talk or convince Laurie to be a better rebounder for the team. And it works. But they might be keeping Zach Collins, so you never know how that shit turns out, too. I don't know. You know, maybe one of those teams do a sign trade. Maybe Pacers say, hey, we'll take Zach Collins off your hand. No, no. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of doing a whole month thing. I know it kind of went off, but that's just me brainstorming. Um, I've also mentioned on Twitter Portland. I think the Bulls might try to do, if they were to trade Vooch, hey, give us Nurch, Robert Covington, and maybe somebody else if the money don't match up or something. I don't know. But that's just me. I personally want more depth for the Bulls, and the money I want split instead of having like 20 something million, 24 million in Vooch. That's just me. And I still think you can get the kind of big or playmaker or whatever you need at the five, especially on defense, to circumvent that. But anyway, that's my thoughts. I ultimately am interested to see what happens. I'm not ruling out the fact that the Pelicans just straight up say, hey, look, we'll give you 4 or 5 years, 20 million. Could happen. If it does, oh well, so be it. But that's all I got. Y'all have a good one. Peace.